Greetings, Bad Warriors. Greetings. Greg is back. So are you. Another life lesson for the Results Kill Excuses channel. Going on a fun joyride in northern New Mexico. I'm going to go do a little bit of trout fishing here in the evening. Why? It's because it's something I promised myself. Something I promised myself this year, and it's something I've talked about a lot here. If you're new to the channel, welcome. If you've been here, thank you for continuing to show up for you and to connect with me as we continue to pursue becoming the best version of ourselves. And the messages that I share are absolutely filtered through my entire life experiences, whether it's trauma in childhood, the crazy recklessness in adolescence, alcoholism, military experiences, the highs, the lows, the good, the bad, and the ugly. Now, going on 14 years of sobriety, hitting rock bottom, and picking myself up. And one of the things that I've experienced on the healing journey, which I hope you're on, is to reparent my inner child. And a big part of reparenting that inner child is to reconnect with the inner child. And what does that even mean, to reconnect? Well, first it takes self-awareness. If you're disassociated from yourself, we've been talking about that disconnect from our emotional and our mental and our physical state of being. There's a lot of people living in that right now. We're just so focused. We're so overwhelmed by everything outside of ourselves that for us to just be more self-aware, be more present. And ultimately what I've discovered on this journey is this concept of the inner child. Little Gregory still very much present, and the version of that little Gregory was a wounded version, is a scared little boy. Why is he scared? Because he lived through a lot of shit. And I guarantee you, if you experienced a lot of shit, 0 to 10 years old, that's where the roots of our emotional wounds lie, called trauma. That's called trauma. That is what trauma is. Trauma is a wound emotionally that happens to you when you're a child. And it can happen as adults too, but the onset, the genesis, and the root of all the things that kind of show up for you as an adult are rooted, are deeply, deeply, deeply rooted in this timeline, 0 to 10 years old. The reason why I'm going fishing, well, one, I love to go fishing. I love fishing. But secondly, it's something that I loved to do as a kid. When I was a little guy, I loved to go fishing so much. And I love to go fishing as an adult. However, I had stopped for a lot of years, and this was a part of me reparenting that inner child, is literally connecting with myself and at that inner child and creating a dialogue, which is, yes, it is mentally and energetically talking to yourself, right? We can kind of tease that, you know. Have you ever teased anybody that's sort of, you know, I don't know what the medical diagnosis is, where people are out there talking to themselves or whatever's going on. But I talk to myself all the time, and so do you. But here's the thing: are you talking to yourself as an enemy, as the critic, as a doubter, or are you talking to yourself as you're an encourager, you're a mentor, a coach, a guide, a well of support and optimism? But even when we come to reconnecting with the energy side of who we are, the personality side of who we are, this inner child concept, right? My inner child, he's a sweet guy. He's a sweet little dude. I love him so, so much. I'm almost feeling a little bit of emotions just because, you know, he's feeling seen, he's feeling heard. He's kind of a He's shy kid. He's a little shy. Yes, he was a mama's boy. And a lot of that was, I really trauma bonded with my mother at an early age because of the violence that we survived through and that we had to escape at the hands of my father. But there's a reason why I'm going fishing is because when I have these meditations and auto writing and journaling and connecting with the inner child, and I ask you to ask your inner child this, or even just ask the intellect version of yourself, what are 3 things that you absolutely loved doing as a child by yourself? That is kind of the kicker. There's things I love to do in groups and sports and different shit like that, but in this context, and when you're on your healing path as adults, we all should know that it can be challenging to really get together with a group and get everyone moving in the same direction. And so as a way to not have something as a barrier or some kind of an excuse to kind of get you to avoid doing what I'm encouraging you to do right now, which is to think of 3 things you love doing as a child. For me, I love riding my bike, I love fishing, and I love being outdoors in nature. I love playing. I did a lot of make-believe. I was the only child for most of my life. And I love playing outside. I love make-believe and playing with action figures. And so I told myself this year, because it's been about 4 years since I've gone fishing, that I was gonna go. And so recently, me and my son, who I raised him fishing, prior to the pandemic, I used to take my kids fishing 50 times a year. I mean, we were always out there. I have an incredible trout boat, fishing boat, and even up here in northern New Mexico, it's not deserty. There's mountains, there's lakes. It's incredible. It's beautiful. Maybe I'll do a video when I get up to the lake I'm gonna fish at. However, I took my son, and it's just like, first off, actually, I told myself I'm going to do it, and the summer was starting to come to an end, and I went for a cruise. I like cruising northern New Mexico. It's beautiful out here. I mean, maybe you can see it just out the windows in the car, but it's beautiful. It's still very rugged out here. So there's a lot of cruises that I like to just go on, and I was getting ready to go out on a cruise, and I said, I'm going to go by this lake. And I know that fishing from the shore, this is a real big lake, probably not going to be that successful, but I was like, you know what? I'm going to go buy a fishing pole, and I'm just going to do it. I'm just going to do it. I don't know if I'm going to get lucky or not. I wasn't even planning on doing the fishing, but I'm going to just buy a fishing rod and buy some gear, just some hooks and some bait, and I'm just gonna go out there and fish. And I did. I didn't catch anything. I might have got a bite, but I did it. And if there's something that you've been thinking about doing that you keep on finding ways to not do it, or finding reasons not to do it and keep avoiding it, I'm telling you, go make it happen. You gotta create your reality, and that's really where we're gonna go in this message. If you're tapped in here and you like the storytelling, you like how I filter the healing process through stories, lock in, right? Sit with me for this joyride up to the mountains. Because the thing is did you think of 3 things? Three things that you loved doing by yourself as a kid, right? Maybe it was coloring, maybe it was a creative thing. And it might even be something you've completely forgot about. Because again, remember that age when you grew up and it was probably teenage years, teenage years, where you're like, you know what, I'm done being a kid. Fuck that shit. No more toys, no more stuffies. I gotta grow up and be cool and start doing adult shit like smoking and drinking and partying and fighting and fucking and all the things, right? All the things. The ravens are here to say hello to me. I love it. I love nature. And so we got caught up doing, we like said, all right, enough of the kid shit. And so we think that we're done, right? We matured, we grew up. But did we really? Did you really? Are you really fully mature? Or did you abandon that part of you? Is there something that, I guess ask yourself that, is like, if you had a fucking hellacious childhood, I understand you needing to abandon that part of you. Right? And the reason why. But because it's like survival, it's to protect yourself. It's because it's like, man, everything I experienced as a kid was so terrible. And so usually when we disassociate, right, we start blurring the memories, we stop retaining the memories, the pain is too much, and we just try and like distract ourselves. And we think that time passes, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, and more. And that somehow that part of us is no longer alive. And it's like, I'm here to tell you that is not true. That's actually false. That inner child is still alive. It's still a part of who you are. That ethos of your earliest years of life is literally the most impressionable. So to think that the impressions, right, the thumbprints, the fingerprints that were, programmed into you in those early years, if you think somehow you've outgrown that, I mean, I'm not going to convince you otherwise. I'm not here to tell you how to live your life. I'm not telling you what to do or how to think. But I am here to encourage those of you that are searching for some answers, trying to figure yourself out, trying to figure out, why am I my worst enemy? Why do I keep sabotaging relationships? Why do I keep sabotaging job opportunities? Why can't I ever catch a break? I mean, if any of those things resonate with you, right, it's something that is worth your time and attention to really start an investigation, becoming the detective of your life. And it's like we have an opportunity to do a life review once our life is over, or you can actually do it right here, right now. You can review your life 0 to 10, 10 to 20, 20 to whatever age you are right now. And what you do is you write all the significant events down. This is your homework assignment. If you haven't done this yet, I'm really encouraging you. All you need is a few blank pieces of paper. Page 1, 0 to 10, significant life events. Page 2, 11 to 21, significant life events. Page 3, 21 to whatever age you are right now, present. And here's the thing, I guarantee you some of you are like, I don't even remember my childhood. Uh-oh, that's a red flag. What can you remember? Because see, here's the thing, when you actually take the time and you start writing things down, that means you're downloading things that you have in your mind, and as you do that, you clear up space for some forgotten things to potentially show up. And maybe you even need to, like, throughout your healing journey, maybe there's an opportunity for you to reach out to some people, right, that were a part of your childhood, and ask them what they remember, if they remember any bad things that happened, if you have the courage. I mean, that's a scary proposition. I literally have been with potential clients that if they weren't willing to cross that bridge. In the initial consultation that I do with clients, that's one of the areas that we focus on. It's like, how courageous, how open, it's really an open, how open are you and willing are you to do this life review, to really face your past, the good, the bad, and the motherfucking ugly, the terrible things, and to write them down. Because what happens, what's really beautiful, but it's painful and it's challenging, is that when when you start writing these things down, and it's not one sitting. This is something that you could probably walk around with for maybe a couple weeks, because again, memories are gonna resurface. If you start down that path, memories are gonna start resurfacing. Things you had forgotten about. I guarantee you, when you start, you're gonna be like, and don't worry about having it chronological. Just anything you remember, start writing it down in an approximate age, writing them down, approximate age, writing it down. Significant events, good events, bad events, just significant events that you can remember. And once you've really kind of feel like you've done this purge, you've done this review, and it's pretty comprehensive, it's very complete in your mind. Doesn't have to be perfect, just as complete as you need it to be. Hopefully you're not missing any real significant things. Beyond the need for maybe some therapy, some professional help, the thing that you do next is you start to reread these things. And what you're trying to pay attention to through self-awareness is, as you're reading these life experiences, which are the ones that are really uncomfortable? Which are the ones that are like, it makes you mad, it makes you sad, it makes you angry, fearful, makes you want to run away, makes you want to scream or cry or destroy something. I mean, literally, I'm being real talk here. The ones that are really, really stimulating, emotionally speaking, what you want to try and look for is the pattern. What kind of pattern is there? Did you experience a lot of neglect? Did you physical abuse, mental abuse, sexual abuse? Right? What did you experience that is bringing it up? And at the very least, from a self-awareness healing journey, what you're at least going to acknowledge with this, by doing this exercise, what you're going to at least realize is that, you know what, time didn't heal the wounds. If you're still having an emotional charge attached to something that you experienced in your youth, the time didn't do it, did it? And that can be really tough, because then you got to say, well, what now? And it's like, well, the next step is, really I personally would recommend getting professional medical help. And secondly, I would hire a coach like myself to be able to really guide you through how to sit with, process, experience, release these situations from your life, to really sit with it. I believe that breath work is an activator for you to really be able to be present with your body and really fully experience what's going on. And it's great when you can have someone there by your side, just being present, being a empathetic witness, no judgments, just full of compassion. And I think that that's a fertile ground for healing, is when you are able to experience difficult emotional feelings with the presence of an empathetic witness, somebody that's not there to judge you, not going to change their attitude or their thinking about you, right? And yes, this can be done solo, especially because there is support and guidance like this. I can tell you that these type of lessons and so much more for you that really guide you on how to really create the life that you truly, truly know you are capable of. It may feel impossible, but to really feel like you are successful and to really create that life, not just to be victimized for the life that you find yourself with, but to create something from this point forward, right? that type of guidance beyond just one-on-one coaching, which is an investment, that type of guidance is in the 1% Better Everyday Journal. And the complete 4-volume journal is literally an entire year of support and guidance. This type of lessons taught by me, really guiding you through this, from self-sabotage to self-discovery to self-improvement, self-development, self-awareness into self-mastery. Those are the steps. Those are the phases that help you to shift your paradigm from whatever you're suffering with right now into truly unlocking the greatness and the divinity that is inside of you, that you don't have to be defined by your past. You truly can create the life. And I have an example for you to where, someone that's been checking out the message for a while, I think it was Bry Guy is what the handle went by, put an incredible message out there. I thank you. If you're hearing this, my brother, thank you so much for your comment. And if you're somebody that's connected with a message, put a comment, introduce yourself. This is a safe space. This is as real as it fucking gets. I guarantee it. On this planet, this is as real as it gets because it's safe. And vulnerability is a commodity here, and we're just overflowing with it through being our most authentic, genuine selves. Allowing ourselves to free ourselves from our guilt and our shame and the mistakes and the failures and the violations that we've experienced throughout our lives. And yet, I appreciate this comment because what was expressed was a few things that, in doing some research about me, who is this guy? Who is this great guy? He's talking about running for politics. He's been talking about DWIs. He's talked about domestic violence arrest. He's talked about healing. He's talking about sobriety. He's talking about being the best version of himself. Right? He's talking about 1% Better Everyday Journals, that he's not just talk, that there's actually substance to what's being said here. And so if you want to look me up, do a Google search, and what you'll find is there's all kinds of things. There's great things. I've won national awards for serving veterans, building a nationally awarded veteran resource center, but I've also had a tremendous amount of public ridicule, guilt, and shame having my DWIs and my domestic violence arrest smeared in the public domain in the midst of a city council campaign. And here's the crazy thing about the context is, if you do the search, and I invite you all to do the search, Gregory Scargall, Scargall. If you do the search for me, you're going to see some of these articles about domestic violence, and some of them are pretty graphic, and yet I pled not guilty to the claims, and I know that the situation was used politically as a weapon to take me out because I was a threat. I'm still a threat to authority. I'm still a threat to the system because I don't bow the knee, bend the knee, and kiss the ring. I don't play that game, and I believe in truth. But the crazy thing is that when those articles were published, they were published as if that had just happened real time. I had just been arrested. I had just had this situation go down between me and my now ex-wife. The articles were written as if it was real time to captivate the reader, which was really the voter, as to I had just done this. That's not true. That's cap. The situation that happened was literally 9 years before the article was written. And a lot had transpired there where me and my ex had actually reconciled and, tried to work things out. And we have a very amicable relationship now, because a lot of what was written was not true. However, it is what it is, and yet the thing I'm trying to share with you is that information does exist out there about me, or is it me? Because if this happened 15 years ago, do I have to punish myself with guilt and shame for the rest of my life because of something that happened? Or am I able to transform myself, learn the lesson, experience what I need to experience, make amends, seek forgiveness, change who I am from the inside out? This was a major catalyst. Like literally the domestic violence arrest, waking up that night, that week, was the catalyst for this sobriety. This is not my first go at sobriety. So I know what it is to even relapse and fail and go back down that death spiral, only to hit the bottom even that much harder. And that's why, like, the message that I'm putting out here is about it's as authentic as it gets. It's as genuine as it gets. And yet, I'm not proud of that, but I'm also not ashamed. I don't feel defined by that circumstance. And the thing that's really interesting about it is there may be somebody that's watching and listening to this video right now that you may do the search. You may read that stuff and you may judge me. And you may say, that guy's a terrible guy. He's a bad guy. And again, the beautiful thing about that is I believe rejection is protection. And so even after my divorce was finalized and I began dating and stuff, I would have to divulge that information to women, right, that I was getting interested in. I'd be like, hey, by the way, you need to know this about me. And I used to carry around so much guilt and shame. Like, I really beat myself up about that. But that was also the fuel that got me to turn my fucking life around, because I didn't ever want that to ever be a possibility of something that I could be capable of doing or be in a situation ever again. And so I got that serious about turning my life around from the inside out, figuring myself out. What in the fuck is wrong with me? Because whether it's all true, partly true, or none of it's true, does not matter. I found myself in that situation, and I'm somebody that believes that everything in this life happens for us, not to us. I am not a victim. Even my ex-wife, as the person on the other side of that experience, she's not a victim. Society may think she's a victim. The writers of that article may have thought she was a victim. You may think she's a victim, right? But at the spiritual level, ain't nobody here a victim. We have all chosen these experiences in order for us to get to a place of spiritual awakeness, spiritual evolution, to transcend the suffering of this experience called life, this human experience. I am talking to somebody that you are not your body. You are not your government issued ID. You're not your car. You're not your house. You're not your relationship. You are an eternal soul having a human experience. And guess what? I also believe that this is not the first time. This is not one and done. No. you've probably done this many times, and not as the same person, not as the same character. You have shifted characters, you have been different things. We just continue to experience in order to what? Evolve our soul. There's mystery to some of that, as there should be. But what I am confident about is that no matter what you have been through, you absolutely can make a decision right here, right now, to create a completely new life for yourself. You can change anything and everything about your life, who you are right now. You have that power. That is the creative co-creator power that you have. It's the power that I have, and it's the power that I use to change my life for the better. And I embraced it. And that's why I get on here so with such clarity about what I have experienced. Because I am no longer a slave. I am no longer a victim. I am no longer a villain to whatever has happened to me in this life. I can stand in my truth. Those that want to judge me will judge me. Those that accept me will accept me. I appreciate everyone for whatever it is that you do. It's not going to change me. But yet, are you somebody that has allowed what others think about you, what others think about the things you've done? Have you allowed that to now be your identity? I allowed that. I was carrying around that guilt and that shame, and I was afraid. I was afraid when I was running for politics. I was afraid that, what if I'm going to get asked that question. I know I'm going to get asked that question. Have you ever been arrested? And back then, this wasn't even that long ago. I ran for political office 2018, 2019. I was not this guy. I was not this man. Right? And that's okay. It's okay, because I still sat in the fire. I was afraid of the questions. I was still identifying with my mistakes, as if somehow I would never get out from under it. But again, the healing journey is real. The journey that I have been on, and the journey that I am encouraging you to join me with, is one that will absolutely give you all the tools, all the skills for you to truly create the most incredible life that you can dream of. That is the one restriction. If you can dream it, you can create it. If you're willing to build your dream life, first you got to visualize it. First you got to truly see it. You don't got to believe in it. You don't got to know how it's going to happen. You just got to see it. And that takes mental clarity. That takes spiritual connectedness, alignment with your inner self, so that you can truly sit with yourself. Because all the doubt, all the fear, all the negativity is going to try and, minimize you, marginalize you, keep you stuck in your past, keep you attached to the mistakes, and not allow yourself to be set free. And that's why I'm grateful for the comment, is that someone actually did some research. Oh, wow, bro, I saw this about you, saw that about you. And it's pretty impressive that you have found the ability to really be out here, knowing that people can see that, and knowing that people can judge you. It's like, dude, I don't give two fucks. And that's not an arrogance. It's just, I know who I am. I sat in those fires. I have made amends with all of the people impacted by the things that I have done at all phases of my life. And I now can sit here with peace with myself, knowing that I have actually changed who I am from the inside out. Not a temporary fix, not a seasonal fix. I've truly gone into the depths of my soul and said, I gotta fix this. And then I also went out, I forgave myself. Have you forgiven yourself? That's a huge deal. I remember years of therapy. The therapist would always look at me, have you thought about forgiving yourself? And I'm just like shaking my head, forgiving myself. Oh man, I hate myself so much because of the things, right? Because I was no longer perfect. I'm flawed. I have mistakes. And it's like, who's ever gonna love me, right? I used to think that after I got divorced. Who's ever gonna love me, right? I mean, if you look me up, I'm domestic violence. Ain't no woman gonna love me, and now I'm old, and now I'm this, and now I'm that. Woe is me, just all poopy pants. And guess what? I just kept sitting in the fires. I kept doing the work, going to therapy, working on myself, switching my nutrition, eating healthy, thinking healthy. And at the end of the day, I accept myself fully. And I know that I have been forgiven by the people that I have hurt. Some people, not so much, but that's okay. And that's why if you've hurt somebody, for you to go and say, hey, can you forgive me? If they say, fuck you, I hate you, you release yourself energetically, right? Whether someone or not chooses to forgive you, that's not your issue. You just got to ask for it. If you ask for the forgiveness, you're good. That's it. That's all you need to do. You ask for forgiveness. Someone says, thank you so much. You can embrace. There's a release, blockage energetically, and y'all can go on your merry way. If someone tells you, I'll forgive you, fuck you, I'm never going to forgive you, then you know what? That's on them. They're now drinking the bitterness, wishing you die, and you can go on your merry way and move on with your life. You don't have to sit there and persecute yourself for the rest of your time on this planet. You can actually start to move forward. And that is an incredible revelation to have. Is man, are you worthy? Is it okay for you to move forward with your life? Really, or do you got to stay because you made a mistake? You got to define yourself. And this is one of the biggest lessons that I've learned along this journey. I'm gonna get out here, show you guys this incredible place I'm at. And do I wish things were different? Of course. Yeah, I wish I was perfect. I wish I never made the mistakes I made. Look at this place, man. Northern New Mexico. There's a lake. There's a dude out there fishing on a boat. Some big fish in this lake. Right now is the good time. It's a little windy, but that's okay. Get out here in nature. I'll tell you, one of the most healing therapies that I've experienced along this 14-year journey has been nature. Just time in nature. Doesn't matter if you're just out here walking around the lake, or if you want to do some fishing, or you go hiking, jumping in a river, riding a bike, just being out in nature, being in the trees, especially near bodies of water. It's very powerful, especially if you're a water sign, Scorpio, Pisces, Cancer, right? Water is very healing, and it could even just be in your shower, right? Taking a shower, a cold shower. If you're having a stressful day, right, and you want to just take a cold shower to cleanse and replenish yourself, it's a powerful, powerful force of nature to cleanse and rejuvenate yourself. And I've truly rejuvenated myself from the inside out. And I do have a healthy relationship with my ex-wife. I don't really have any enemies in this world, right? And I have forgiven myself. And that's been one of the most hardest things to do, to genuinely forgive myself. Because it wasn't just, oh, I forgive myself. It was, no, I need to sit there and do the shadow work, which is to fully account for all the dark shit throughout the entire life story, all the dark shit. And that's another exercise that really helped me along this journey, was when I was at my lowest lows, pretty much right after the divorce. I was trying to rebuild my esteem, my worthiness. Again, just kind of that woe is me. Who's gonna love me? And I had gotten into journaling, and I basically started writing on a big list of all the ego strokes, all the wonderful things about myself, and just started writing, and I'm a great this and I'm a great that, just trying to like pick myself up by the bootstraps. And you know what happened was I had this revelation that, wait, I can't just account for the good things. I need to account for the bad things. I need to fully account for myself. I'm afraid to do it. Are you afraid to account for the bad things you've done? Right? Are you in that big of denial that you just can't do it? And it's like, you need to find the courage and strength with yourself privately. No, you don't have to share that list with anybody. But I started writing out all the bad things, and this is another assignment. I've given you one assignment, which is the life review. This is the second assignment in this video, and this is what sets this apart. Is I'm not here just to entertain you. I'm here to really inspire you to take ownership of your life, extreme ownership, and really start putting in the work to figure yourself out. And that takes that sober pill. Fish, did you hear that fish jump? Oh man, I'm excited. I'm gonna get this video done because I'm gonna go catch some trout. Oh man, I love it. That gets me excited. What a beautiful place to be. There's even some snow. There was some snow this past week. There's a little bit of snow, not much, but it's cooling down. The second lesson, right, is for you to literally just draw a line down the middle of a page, right? The light side, or the good part of who I am, and the bad part of who I am, the light and the darkness, and really account for it. And it doesn't mean that you're all the bad things right now. It's just saying, hey, have you ever stolen something? Well, that means you're a thief. I'm not a thief. But did you ever steal something? Yes. Okay, well then just write it fucking down. Don't try and negotiate to make yourself, to stroke your ego. See, that's the thing, is the ego wants to get in our way. The ego's afraid to really be seen, man. And that's what it's going to take for you. If you made it this far in the video, you got to fucking like strip down naked, man. Like, I mean, metaphorically speaking, like literally stripping down the fucking layers and the bullshit and the fucking, just the masks. And if you can't even do this with yourself, to be like, okay, have you ever lied to somebody? Well, you're a fucking liar. Put that on the dark side, right? Have you ever cheated at something? Well, you're a cheater. You ever cheated when you were in high school? I used to cheat a lot. I was a cheater. Does that mean I'm a cheater now? Does that mean I'm a cheater? I'm a liar? No, fucking outgrow that. But when you are not, see, the one of the mental disorders we have is we only want to see ourselves in the light, and thus we are in denial that we have been these things. Have you ever hated somebody? Well, you're a fucking hater. Have you ever had murderous thoughts about somebody? Well, you're a murderer. If you ever did kill somebody, you're a killer. Right? You ever, like, any of this stuff? You ever hurt anybody? Right? Like, you need to account for both sides. Because this is really the cleansing spirit, is the spirit of truth. That nothing is concealed, that all things are revealed. That even though you only want to see yourself as the good things, wake the fuck up. There's bad things. And that's why when you do the life review, or you do this, the shadow, the light and dark shadow exercise of accounting for yourself, you're seeing the truth of who you are. You're taking off all the masks. And when I did this, guess what? The light was shined in this dark place of me, of who I was, right? I had to write, I'm an abuser, right? I'm a wife beater. I just put it all. I didn't care, man. I don't care. I'm a drunk. You name it. I wrote it all. And what happened is the light for the first time shined in the dark, and it's like the beast inside of me came out, and he's like, oh wait, am I supposed to be seen like this? Like right now I'm in the sun. Am I supposed to be seen? Is it okay? Is it safe? And I'm like, yeah. And what happens is you integrate. You're no longer in denial of yourself, your true nature. And what happens is you can then transmute the dark energy into a powerful force of good. And that's what you guys are seeing right now. If you've made it this far, you're seeing the force of good. That is the integration of there is nothing concealed inside of me. I got nothing to hide, man. Take it as I am. Love me as I am. Reject me as I am. Whatever you do does not change who I am. Because I know I'm the force of good. I know I have good intentions, and I know that I am not going to set myself up for failure ever again. Because why? I've given up the drink. I've given up the things that I've healed, the emotional wounds, the things that were the pain that were causing me to feel insecure and angry towards myself. But when that shit seeps out, it's harmful towards others. And I was tired of doing that shit, and that's what motivated me to get on this fucking healing journey and get on this spiritual awakening so that I could change who the fuck I was, because I wanted to trust myself. I was tired of hurting other people that didn't deserve it. And I knew I was better, and I could be better. And guess what? I'm showing up better. I'm showing up for me first, for my family second, and for the rest of the world third. And you're part of that. So if you're ready, it's time to jump on that 1% better every day journey. Thank you for everyone that's been tuning in here. Share the message if you made it this far. Comment down below if the message has been connecting with you. If you really do sit in and listen and get something from this message, if it's stirring something up inside of you, share that with me. I love hearing from you guys. You know there's no judgment here. You know that this is a place for you to be seen and heard like never before. I love you. You know the drill. Results kill excuses, because if it was easy, it won't be worth it. Greg's out.